Watch how Kemi Badenoch unleashes a devastating attack on Labour over delays to Britain's crucial defence investment plan. With growing global threats, military chiefs raising concerns, and resignations shaking the government, MPs demand answers as pressure mounts on ministers to explain what is really going on. Before we continue, hit like and subscribe to Britain Daily for more explosive political coverage. Let's watch this explosive clip.
Come to the urgent question. Leader of the opposition, Kemi Badenoch.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To ask the Secretary of State for Defence if he will make a statement on the effect of the delay of the Defence Investment Plan on our armed forces' ability to defend the United Kingdom.
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before I turn to the matter before us, the whole House will want to join me in recognising the remarkable work of our armed forces this weekend. In the Channel, UK forces boarded a sanctioned vessel from Russia's Shadow Fleet to disrupt the flow of funds to Putin's illegal war in Ukraine. The Defence Secretary will be making a statement on that shortly. Mr. Speaker, these are extraordinary times for defence. The threats are real and they're increasing. It's no secret that I worked in lockstep with the former Defence Secretary. He is a friend and mentor. I was his deputy and I'm still standing here because he asked me to stay and because we need continuity in this complex and difficult operational environment. The DIP will be published before the NATO summit. Do we need to spend more on defence? Yes. Does the Prime Minister and the Chancellor agree? Yes. Are we spending more? Yes. This year's defence budget is £11 billion more than the final year under the Conservatives. Are we learning the lessons from Ukraine? Yes. Are we retiring old kit to invest in new capabilities? Yes. Are we backing our people? Yes. The biggest pay rise in 20 years, a £9 billion plan to fix the defence housing crisis we inherited, and it's working. Intake is up 11.6%, outflow down 8.9%, and morale is up. And to answer her question directly, if asked to fight tonight, could our forces defend the UK? Yes. And they already do every single day. Are we planning to increase their capabilities to deter and defend the UK and our allies? Yes, we are. Would I like to go further? Of course. The new Defence Secretary has stepped up to serve, as he has done before, sleeves rolled up and determined to meet the moment to get defence the best deal. And let me say plainly, I know the PM is committed to do so as well. He said in Munich, to meet the wider threat, it is clear that we are going to have to spend more faster. And at the weekend, he said, 3% in the next Parliament, defence will be the #1 priority at every spending review, including the next spending review. The disagreement in recent weeks was never about whether we should fund our forces. It's about how fast we increase the spending for defence and on what capabilities. And that's a serious argument to have. And I make no apology for pushing hard within the government to win it. That is the job. But the job is also a team sport. And that's why the MOD, with the new Defence Secretary, is working with the Treasury, other government departments and Number 10 to get this right.
Kemi Badenoch.
Mr. Speaker, it speaks volumes that a junior minister has been sent to answer this question today. If the new Defence Secretary is too scared to face tough questions at the dispatch box, waiting for an easier statement later, then I don't have much confidence in him facing down the threat from Russia. It has been 2 years since Labour paused the Conservatives' plan to fund our armed forces. A year since their strategic defence review. A year since their strategic defence review. We have been warning that the delays to the Defence Investment Plan were...
People go onto the front bench. Don't bring the backbench habits to the front bench, please. Kemi Badenoch.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We have been warning that the delays to the Defence Investment Plan were making our troops and our country less safe. Last week, the Defence Secretary and the Minister for the Armed Forces quit the government because they know those warnings were true, and they were no longer willing to defend the indefensible. They have done the honourable thing by resigning. It could not have been easy for the former Defence Secretary, a Labour man through and through, when he said, and I quote, "I am being forced to make decisions that would increase the risk to personnel on operations and could make the country less safe." That is absolutely shocking. What on earth is the government playing at? The statement that the Minister has just given shows that the government are still in denial. He did not say that there would be extra money for the Defence Investment Plan, as his former mentor, so he says, asked for. The Prime Minister needs to tell the Chancellor to find the money. The answer is to cut the welfare budget. And I am willing to lend the government 116 votes to do just that, because I know they won't do it, on the proviso that the Defence Investment Plan meets 3 simple tests. First, the government must at a minimum find the £28 billion that the Chief of the Defence Staff has said is needed. Will they? Second, that funding must be provided before 2030. Will it? There's no kicking into the long grass here, Mr. Speaker. And if the answer to both questions is no, then this minister should have resigned along with his colleagues. Third, that funding must ensure we are ready to fight the wars of the future, not the past. I am sure the minister will now stand up and try and blame the situation on Conservative governments, forgetting that these are new threats, not past threats. This government needs to stop wasting time and do what is necessary to keep the British people safe today.
Minister.
Well, can I thank the right honourable lady for her question and for the tone in which she's asked it? We often have a lot of shouting from her front bench, but I appreciate the professionalism and calm that she asked those questions. Let me be very clear.
No, order. I think there's 2 just want to spoil it. I'm sure they won't, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, let me be very clear. The Defence Secretary is currently with His Majesty the King and will be in the House this afternoon making a statement on the operations over the weekend. I have to say, I recognise that she got her revenge in early by saying, I will seek to blame it on the Conservatives. Let me be very clear. The right honourable lady will know that we inherited forces that have been hollowed out and underfunded by the Conservatives, that we inherited defence housing, where families were being asked to sleep in bedrooms with black mould, leaky roofs and broken boilers, that 47 of 49 major defence programmes we inherited at the general election were over budget and unfunded. However, we've also been very clear that we are increasing defence spending. I appreciate that she had a pre-scripted questions, but if she listened to what I said at the start, she would know that we're increasing defence spending, an extra £11 billion.
Order. I think you've just proved the point. When you request an urgent question, and the question's been asked, allow the Minister to ask without comment, without 2 of you, either side, chipping in. I don't need it, you don't want it, so I'm not being funny. This affects all our constituencies and our constituents, so please, Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We are increasing defence spending. The budget this year is £11 billion more than the budget in the last year of the Conservative government. We are ending that hollowing out, but of course I want more money in the defence budget. It's a case that we continue to make as the profile of defence spending increases. I welcome a debate that says what capabilities will we spend that increasing defence funding on? And she is right when she says we need to fight the wars of tomorrow. That's why we're investing in more autonomy. That's why we're investing in more drones, a hybrid navy, and the increased stockpiles that we need to deter Russian aggression. There's more work to do, and the new Defence Secretary is working with his sleeves rolled up to deliver the best deal that we can, and we will publish the Defence Investment Plan ahead of the NATO summit.
What a remarkable and deeply concerning debate that was. At a time when security threats are growing across Europe and beyond, defence is no longer a distant political issue. It is a question of national safety, military readiness, and whether Britain is prepared for the challenges of an increasingly unstable world. That is why Kemi Badenoch's intervention carried so much weight. Her argument was simple but powerful. If defence is truly the government's top priority, why has the Defence Investment Plan still not been published? And why are senior figures reportedly leaving government while warning about the consequences of delay? For many people watching at home, these concerns feel very real. Families expect the armed forces to have the equipment, resources and support necessary to keep the country safe. They also expect politicians to act with urgency when national security is at stake. The government insisted that defence spending is increasing and that plans are being finalised ahead of major international commitments. Ministers argued that investment is already flowing into personnel, equipment, housing and future technologies, but critics remain unconvinced. They argue that promises are not enough. They want a clear roadmap, clear funding commitments and clear answers about how Britain intends to meet future threats. That is why today's debate became far more than a disagreement about budgets. It became a debate about leadership, priorities and trust. As tensions rise around the world, voters will increasingly ask whether Britain is moving fast enough to strengthen its defences. What do you think? Is the government taking the right approach, or are these delays putting Britain's security at risk? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this coverage, hit like, subscribe to Britain Daily, and turn on notifications for more explosive Commons debates, PMQs clashes, and breaking political news from Westminster.